3 people vanished from dry roads with no curves, and all 3 had their life insurance updated by companies that don't exist before it happened. What you're about to hear comes from a collection of handwritten notes and voice memos recovered from a storage unit in Portland, Oregon. The unit was registered under the name Ray Coulter, private investigator, licensed 2011, reported missing 14 months ago. No body was ever found. These are his words. Ray Coulter. Field notes. Week 1. The family hired me because the insurance company wouldn't pay out and I needed the work, so I didn't ask too many questions at first, which I now understand was a mistake. Sandra Reeves, 47, disappeared in a car accident on the I-84 on a Tuesday morning in March. Clean road, dry weather, no mechanical failure found in the report, and her car left the highway at a section with no curves, which nobody seemed to find strange except her daughter, who called me 6 weeks later with a folder of documents she didn't know how to read. I knew how to read them. The life insurance policy on Sandra had been updated 11 days before she disappeared. Beneficiary changed, coverage doubled, and the request had been filed not by Sandra, but by a financial advisory firm she had never contacted. Acting under a power of attorney, she had apparently signed 3 years earlier at a notary office that no longer exists. I wrote that down and sat with it for a long time. Then I pulled the files on the 2 other cases Sandra's daughter had mentioned, a colleague and a former business partner, both gone within 4 months of Sandra, both accidents, both with updated insurance policies they hadn't filed themselves. 3 people, 3 accidents, 3 policies updated by firms that don't exist anymore. And when I ran the beneficiary names on all 3 policies, every single one led back to the same account number at a bank I had never heard of, and the account had been opened the same week Sandra was born.
Ray Coulter. Field notes. Week 3. The list had 11 names by the time I found the common thread, and the common thread was not what I expected. They weren't all rich, they weren't all from the same industry, and they didn't all know each other, but every single one of them had, at some point in the last 5 years, worked with or held documents related to a company called Unverified Capital Group, a private fund registered in Delaware with no public presence, no website, no listed employees, and assets under management that, according to one filing I found buried in an SEC database, totaled just under $4 billion. $4 billion and no public face. I spent 3 days trying to find who owned it and kept hitting shells. Holding companies pointing to other holding companies, registered agents in Nevada and Wyoming, signatures I couldn't trace, and one name that appeared twice in documents 6 years apart that I ran through every database I had access to and got nothing, which is not how it works. People leave traces, everyone leaves traces, and this name left none. I called a contact at the FBI field office in Seattle, not officially, just a conversation, and described what I had without naming names, and she went quiet in a way that told me she recognized the structure, and then she said I should be careful and ended the call. That was on a Thursday. On Friday, I noticed the car parked outside my office for the 2nd consecutive day. Different plates, same model, same color, same position, directly across from my window. I went back to the list. By Sunday, I had cross-referenced every name against public death records, insurance filings, and corporate registrations, and what I found was that 8 of the 11 were already gone. All accidents, all clean, all within a 2-year window, and the remaining 3, including myself, had all recently begun asking questions about Unverified. I don't use the word myself loosely. My name was in one of Sandra's documents, a meeting log from 4 years ago, a consultation I barely remembered, a single line with my name and a case number I didn't recognize. The same case number on a file I opened in 2019 that I closed without findings and barely remember, and I don't know what that means yet, but it means something. I don't know if that was a coincidence, and I am no longer willing to assume that it was. There is something else in the documents I haven't written down yet. I need to think about whether writing it makes this worse. Ray Coulter. Field notes. Week 4. Final recovered entries. I found the list on a Tuesday, the real one, not mine. It was embedded in a document I pulled from a server I shouldn't have been able to access. a filing index attached to a Veristed subsidiary registered in 2019, and it was formatted like a contact sheet, names and dates, and a column I didn't understand at first because the dates in it hadn't happened yet. Future dates, next to names that were still alive. My name was there, with a date 6 weeks from now, and next to it a code I cross-referenced against the other entries and understood immediately. It matched the codes next to the 8 people who were already gone. I made copies of everything and put them in 3 separate locations. And then I wrote this because I need someone to know the structure before anything happens to me. Veristed is not a fund, or it's not only a fund. It is a mechanism for eliminating financial liability, and the people on that list are not targets because they know too much in the dramatic sense. They are targets because their existence creates legal exposure, because they signed documents or attended meetings or received payments that, if surfaced in a federal investigation, would connect Veristed to names I am not going to write here, because writing them here would make this document more dangerous than it already is. I have contacted 2 journalists and received no response. I have sent documents to a lawyer who stopped returning my calls after 48 hours. And I have filed a formal complaint with the Oregon Department of Justice that was returned to me stamped as incomplete with no explanation of what was missing. Every door I try is already closed. The car outside my office is gone, which is worse than when it was there, because it means they no longer need to watch me from outside. I don't know who finds this, and I don't know when. But if you are reading this and my name is in the news as an accident, check the insurance policy, check the notary, check who filed the paperwork, and then look up Veristed Capital Group before that name disappears too. There are now 10 names on my list that I cannot find any record of ever existing. Not a death certificate, not a birth record, not a tax filing, nothing. And these are people I spoke to, people who gave me documents, people who were real and are now. I don't have a word for what they are now. I started to write the names here and then stopped. If you found this, you already know more than is safe. I'm sorry. They are very good at making things disappear.